don't know why I really like giraffes. Just they turn me on a bit.
Walking down the street, meet the faces of the people I see. All the time I see your reflection. All the time I see your reflection. It's okay to feel alone. It's okay to be alone. All the time I see your reflection. All the time I see your reflection. 'Cause when I'm with you, it seems so easy. Seems so easy. My best days are with you. They are so easy. They are so
Just really elegant creatures with thick thighs.
And
Right. Welcome to tonight's show. We're joined by Super Rudy. Rudy, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
You're very welcome.
No, we are. The pleasure is all ours. Alexis is off. He's on a lad's night out. So, Alexis, wherever you are, we hope you're having fun. So much news to go through today. We've got the TF Con, was it in America? We've had an absolute avalanche. No, sorry, it was in China, Japan. It was in the country. We've got an absolute avalanche of third-party news. So, when I find the thing, we'll go over to the news.
I jog some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
So we're starting with mainline.
Oh, sorry.
Because we've just built a third party, so screw it. Let's start with mainline.
See
I
you
can
bar
start with
pants,
third
mate.
party if you
See you
want.
bar
Do you want to
pants.
do third party? Should we do third party first?
I suppose we could do the Finch
Think
stuff
we'll
first.
Switch over?
No, it's cool. Let's get through this. Let's go through the small man
Get
stuff.
through
Let's go
this.
through
How dare you?
stuff.
Let's go through the main stuff and then we'll get on to the others.
Finch stuff.
We were the news. Transformers the show was the news this week because we got iguanas before anyone else, apparently, or at least nobody else who could be bothered to post about it. So I was lucky enough to get from In-Demand Toys my copy of Legacy Core Iguanas on Saturday morning, and just posted a couple of photos at the time. Just goes like, hey, expecting it would be like the usual avalanche of photos, and it wasn't.
That's what I thought. I was going to
And as
put
it
my
turned out, it
photo
wasn't for quite a
Sunday.
while. It wasn't really till Monday.
Then your
Yeah,
photo
well,
had something like 330
we should have done it.
likes, and I went, well, I'm not going to post my photo now.
I don't think so.
Well, we made the news, though, didn't we? I mean,
Yes.
And it was amazing.
You
But
know,
inside
I
I was
it
going,
was through us.
I was going, fuck you, Andy, fuck you. No, but yeah, that was brilliant.
You've
Such a
been
good
on these
photo.
things before.
I know.
It was, yeah, it ended up on Saturday, and you have the review, Jamie, if you see it, or just watch it again. Gets the views up. It makes us feel better about ourselves. In answer to just this is so cool. Review up of anyone in the world.
And we were the first ones to really comment on the character from the comics as well. We were showing them real depth and knowledge, I thought.
It was a game that obviously within about an hour of us getting our review up, Sheffatron got his one up, and then I think Prime versus Prime was up within an hour of that as well. So
You could have
we
done
maybe
it
didn't
Saturday.
quite get the views that we could have done. I know,
Yeah.
we should have done it straight away. But you live and you learn.
feel
don't we?
like-
We're not just here for the clicks.
Those two probably saw yours and were like, oh shit, I've got to get mine out.
That's
they
it.
rushed through
That's
their
exactly
review.
what happened. You can
Theirs
tell
could have been
the
better.
quality of theirs. But
Like,
for
I
anybody
watched
wondering
it
who hasn't
anyway.
watched the review, short version, he's really good. And if you like the character and the toy from G1, all right, it's not as big, but you know, go get it anyway because it's a nice.
You
little
can put
figure.
it closer to your face, it gets bigger.
Perspective. Anyway, yeah, and
And
then there
all
are
the
other things that have
tricks.
come out. So Kevin Lou's Transformers, he's got hold of Buzzworthy Bumblebee Autobot Silverstreak to give him his full title. Yeah, were we expecting this one? You can tell me, Jamie. I can't remember if
No,
this one had
I
already
wasn't
been
expecting this,
mentioned
but
at
this
some-
one doesn't seem like Silverstreak to me. He's more like someone's taken the name Bluestreak and thought, what would Bluestreak be called? will look like, and we'll make it look like Bluestreak, but we'll still keep the name Silverstreak,
Yeah.
even though he is meant to be Bluestreak. And Silverstreak, which is it looks like the original Silverstreak when it first came out. So I mean Bluestreak, which
we
is
have
confusing, is Silverstreak. Oh,
We do have some more
Muddled.
videos coming up of this, so some better
Christ,
ones. Not
sexy.
just the man holding it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Then we have product numbers for Legacy Override, Road Hauler, and Generations Legacy
Hauler's
Beast
good.
Assortment.
I'm not sure about
The
Override.
Beast Assortment is a case with Sandstorm, Buzzsaw, and Night Prowler. So, in case you don't know the characters, there's Hauler on the right and Override on the left.
Who's
Who-
Override?
Was Override Cybertron? Transformers Cybertron, I think. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he was. She was. I'm sure it was a female character from Transformers Cybertron. But yeah, so they are to come, and we all know that Hauler, I'm assuming will be based on the Inferno mold, the famous Wrecker. So that'll be. These things, which were the first. Now, this was Sheffertron, wasn't it? He got hold of some of the first of the new. What's it called? Rise of the Beast, the new movie. Some of those figures.
Yeah.
Which, when you
Yeah.
looked at them, we were assuming they were like core class size, weren't we? Because
Oh,
the
it's
simplicity of some of the engineering.
Oh, it was
Masterpiece,
very-
obviously.
very,
Yeah,
very young age, 4 to 5 or something.
yeah, just the style of them. Yeah, and now, what's the white tiger called again?
Tigertron.
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 There you go.
Yeah.
So you get
Remember-
comes with a little Tigertron that doesn't transform into a robot, but gets eviscerated
gives-
into this weapon. So that's nice.
He gives a new face to cocking the gun, doesn't he?
But bum. Look at face. Anyway, there you go. So this is
Right, what is
this is what it's
that?
going to look.
Look at Tigertron's face. He's the poor bastard that's going to be shooting stuff out. I mean,
He looks
I'm
very calm
empty.
about the situation. He's resigned to it.
he probably enjoys
so yeah,
it.
I mean, that just looks a bit like the Hound. Sorry, not Hound, Bulkhead that we've recently got as well. But anyway,
yeah,
here they are.
kind of
There's
like
Sheffertron's
the IGN
hands.
Optimus Prime, doesn't it? For the sort of the vehicle, the sort of truck mode.
Yeah, I mean, it's not awful. Like you say, it does look more like it's for the younger audience. But then, yeah, well, you'll see in some of the photos a bit later on. A bit more of a
Tigertron's
comparison
ridiculously
from-
awful, isn't he? It's not my Tigertron. I refuse to accept him.
That's a pretty awesome head sculpt, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say the head sculpt on it is actually pretty cool. Again, not necessarily for me. I think the all grey and silver is a bit dull, but then probably realistic to the colours of it. But the Optimus Prime, the less said, the better. Really, I'm not really sure what's
Well, rubbish.
good. Then we have the promised more Autobot Silverstreak photos. It's going to bug me now because I've forgotten who these came from because this wasn't from that Kevin Liu apparently. I'll look at
So
it
have they
later.
called
Anyway,
these
Let me
Silverstreak
double check,
to retain the license for that name? But it's Blue Streak
Probably.
from the Diaclone
it looks like it, doesn't it?
package.
I think that was Autobase HA on Twitter. Autobase
there you go,
on
thank you.
Twitter.
Which Prime type toy is that? It's one of the inner robots from like a Magnus. Is that just a custom? Do we think, or is there one they've released in that blue color? Anybody in the chat maybe
Don't know.
know that one?
It looks like a custom to me, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
well, that's what I thought when I first saw it. But then I thought maybe I've missed something. And of course, over Takara, those crazy Takara lads, they'll repaint a hell out of anything and get it out there.
It must be a custom because if that was a new Prime, it'd be all over the place, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'd get it in first and we'd review the hell out of that thing. Anyway, he looks all right. He looks like a Datsun bro. He looks like what you'd expect. So if you like the Datsun
Oh, there's a
bros, you're gonna like
Silverstreak
this.
part.
Oh, I need that.
Yes, he has a silver
But he
bonnet. It's
doesn't
one of those
look like
cars where he's
Silverstreak,
like
does
he's
he?
had to get a replacement part. No. Well, I mean, no, not really. And there's some comparisons so you can see him with the size. I always forget about what a meaty bugger that hoist mold is. Or lift.
How do I
as
get
he is,
this silver streak?
By being a very good boy.
You
I'll
exchange,
try, Rudy. I will.
But
try.
I'm kind of hoping In Demand Toys or Hasbro
You
will have
liar.
it in.
Yeah. If somebody's got it in hand in the packaging now, it surely won't be long before those companies that are able to import it get it.
And
in
I
as well.
think.
And then this was
China's
an
in
issue
lockdown
that's come
just
up,
now,
isn't
isn't it? China's in lockdown just now, so I think
Oh.
there's like an issue with stuff being sent away. But I think the UK is one of the few countries where they're happily still send goods. But I don't know what that means for everywhere else. It's like, no, we won't send because it's dangerous. But UK, that's okay. Here's our stuff.
You shared this post, didn't you? And this it taps into something we've mentioned recently on the show. Liam Toybox Sobox, he's tweeted about it and commented about these things. So it's this discoloration we're getting on certain figures, or some people are getting certain figures.
You're breaking up a bit, Andy.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's your internet or my internet that's ruining it.
Oh, sorry, am I?
Yeah. I think what the big issue is that there seems to be either they're using cheap plastics, and Hasbro generally don't know there's something in those plastics which are causing this, or there's a process of maybe post cleaning something's happened, which is it's made it happen much faster than it normally happened. But there's certainly something very weird going with some of these samples, because it's happening a lot faster than you would typically expect yellowing to take, even if it was out in front of a window.
The yellowing isn't your typical 1980s white toy yellowing. Look how complete the yellowing is. It's like the whole bit of plastic as opposed to a tiny little bit of jet fire or an aerial bot, which were kind of
it's uniform, isn't it?
It's like full pure color has gone or tarnished.
It's almost like they're using a certain type of plastic, which is probably not good for UV.
It could be a treat, they could have treated the plastic with something, and it's had an adverse effect. Yeah,
Might have cleaned it really well. It might have got, got dirty or something like that, or there's some process where hygiene where they have to clean these things.
My stomach's like that. Just
an RC.
It's really dirty.
Dirty.
And he's baking up even more now.
Just the odd word comes through.
Tremendous.
Just dirt.
I've just if you can hear me, I've just looked at the Wi-Fi, and my Wi-Fi for some
I
reason
love it that you shouted louder
completely dropping.
to get it through the internet quicker. If you can hear me.
Absolutely right. No.
I'm trying to shout it through the internet. That's the way it works, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Reset your router before you start the show.
I said that, Davey. I said that to Paul, and he said he thought it was his.
Yeah,
Right. Anyway, hear me now.
This must be what Russia internet's like right now.
It's a cyber attack. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So I was just checking my WhatsApp.
Right, I'm just
go.
going to flick through the photos. You
Show.
talk about them. If you can hear me when I talk, great.
Yeah, prawn. Cool.
Yeah.
Braun looking rather sharp. Braun making that
Jill.
Optimus Prime look awful.
Now this is Selects Galvatron.
This is the Diamond Selects Galvatron statue.
That looks good,
Yes.
actually.
That looks nice.
Do you say statue? Oh, and statues. Sorry. No, you just stopped on your face smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry. I had to concentrate.
What size
Except
is
the-
that statue?
Anyway.
One cat.
One
so-
cat.
Yeah.
Oh, not one. I've got runt cats. I had the
16
runt of the
inches.
litters from white cats. White cats are tiny, 16 inches. That means nothing to me.
2 runt cats in.
Oh, excellent. You mean the fat tabby from down the road?
40.4 centimeters of the European.
Keith.
Keith.
Anyway.
Oh, you
Keith
know
the
him.
Fat Tabby. Yeah, I know Keith. Hangs around with Michael and Bungle.
He's a
They're
lad.
pedos. He is.
And now we
He
have a
is.
sort of new Transformers deck building kit, which people will buy, and then it'll lose all support a year later, and then and then they'll launch a new deck building kit, which people will buy, and then it'll just rinse and repeat.
So true.
Good luck, you fools.
I wonder if
This
it's
is the
because my
way.
sons have left their Xboxes on. It's fucking downloading stuff. 2 secs, I'll just turn them off. Little fuckers.
Then Hasbro Pulse Con has been releasing IDs.
they in my house?
You know, yeah. Well, I think it's because the stuff they produce is released in all different countries now, but they don't want to have like a description on the back of the box because there just wouldn't be any room because we'd have to do it in all different languages. So now it's easy enough just to put it on the internet and people look up, you know, the specs of their character. And I know you can scan things in, but to be honest, that's just a waste to just go into the internet and just look at them.
Pointless.
I would reset your router as soon as the news is finished, Andy. And there's
I am gonna, if you can hear me.
oh, is that the artwork done by that artist? Have you got his name? I presume that's why you're showing it. The
Painterson.
no, he's very good, and he's done the cover.
Sketchy McGraw.
Sketchy
Sketchy.
McGraw.
Give me a second.
Sketchy McGraw.
Oh, we love
Felt
Sketchy
tip.
McGraw.
Phil.
Yeah, no, you must have a
Right,
name. Surely.
the art is by Winston Chan. That's it. Sorry, Winston Chan. If you can hear me,
Super cool though. I
Yeah.
love it.
and if not, and Ellie Wright. Winston Chan and Ellie Wright with the art for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, wicked.
But that's enough Beast Wars. We don't want to make people physically sick. We should move on.
That was cool as well.
True story.
It's God, it's even more. No.
Oh my god.
Thank God.
There you go. Back to the good stuff.
Yes. So I take it these are all the big comics volumes launching for IDW.
That's the one.
And another new series from IDW, issue 1, War for Cybertron. God.
It's good that they taken a lot of artists. Sometimes comic companies can be lazy and they'll literally stick with like 4 artists, but that's really cool.
I do think a lot of the artists in Transformer comics, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan, are very talented. And I think they can do different styles. For example, Beast Wars, I don't like the art style, but I definitely know the artist. When he does other comics, he can do a completely switching style, which I really do like. So he's obviously been asked to do that type of style for that comic book. Well, it seems like that to me. But I like the Beast Wars comics. The story is really good, really sharp and very dynamic, and it's always going. There's always action. There was action from the onset and very good character development. You know, it's a pity now that IDW is going to be losing its damn license because all the comics to me, you know, even the mainline one now is rolling along really nice, and that groundwork is sort of paid back. That world building they were doing.
Right. Andy,
Do you want me to carry
go...
on with the third-party news, or do you want me to reset?
Oh no, definitely not.
And I'll
Do you
jump
wanna-
back on after.
Reset.
Reset, and I'll do Rohan's Corner.
Yeah.
Whilst we do that.
All right. I shall return.
Yes, you do that. I don't know if it is yours. It could be mine. I don't know. I'm not sure how it works. We have to ask John Grieve, the Ultra Magnus fan, Borders dude. Will know exactly what's going down.
It's
RJ's
definitely because you're fine. My computer's told me all of you have got good connections.
Good. Right. 19 seconds left until Rohan's downloaded. 20 seconds now.
It's increasing.
He's let the team go, hasn't he?
Back to 17.
You know, I can
What do you
jump
go
on at
about
a whim. No. Somebody who's a featured artist on this show. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Oh, 10 seconds now. 9. Back to 7. This is great viewing. 6 seconds. It's back to 8.
This is just excitement overload.
Oh, where's that picture of that giraffe?
This is like my son.
Don't, mate. It's too sexy.
I won't lie. I am hard. Right here.
I might be able to finish off now if you show up again.
Love wanking over giraffes. Right.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Here we go. Rohan's Corner. Rohan, over to you, Rohan. name?
Rohan. Who is this guy? Rohan. The one and only Rohan. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This week I've set out a little display for you. I'm thinking about, is it easier to spend more on third-party figures compared to Hasbro Mainline? And why is it so easy to justify that additional spend? Well, I have a lot of Hasbro Mainline figures. I have a lot of third-party figures, like many of you out there probably. However, back in the late 2000s, I started to pick up my first couple of 3P figures. Originally, 3P was more or less just KOs of the original characters and toys that we got in the early 80s and 90s. However, moving into the late 2000s, early 2010s, we started to see this abundance of third-party companies coming and having a stab at building their own figures with their own designs. A lot of us have migrated from either collecting just mainline to some sort of hybrid with some 3P involved as well. And then some of us have gone completely away just to 3P. And it's determined by a number of factors: the quality of the plastic, the engineering, the scale, the amount of plastic used in these toys, whether or not they have better components like die cast, accessories, tune accuracy, IDW accuracy, other stylizations, firing projectiles, electronics. And let's be honest, we've been quite spoilt in Hasbro Mainline over the years with really good figures coming out at reasonable price points. I know that we've seen huge inflations in prices for much time now. However, a deluxe class figure at £20 compared to a third-party figure, masterpiece scales could be anything up to 100, 150, possibly even £200. Let's look at Alexis's collection every week. And on the flip side, with Legends, you can go anywhere from 10 to 50, 60, maybe even £100. And so I thought I'd make this video in a little bit of an appreciation to Andy and Jamie's comments every week up against Alexis and Paul with regards to that age-old discussion of mainline versus 3P. For me, I feel like mainline has been getting better and it is a good set of figures to collect. But for me, it's really where the value for money is. You get a lot more plastic for your money. And sometimes the figures are good representations of the characters. We've seen that recently with Studio Series' 86 line. Specifically, characters like Hot Rod and Perceptor have done an excellent job of depicting the cartoon accuracy of the original figure in a nice large mold with some additional capabilities like opening hands and accessories that you wouldn't have had before, or good paint jobs or articulation or stylization. Compare that with Mech Fans toys tend to start at the entry level, or Hot Soldiers at the entry level, where you'd £15 for an old style Mech Fans toys figure like Cyclonus over here, or the Hot Soldiers figures, which are a little bit old and dated now. They're about £10-15 each, all the way up to the mid-level, which I would say is probably Magic Square, where you're looking at £30 to £35 these days for the equivalent, all the way up to New Age, where you're pushing the boundaries of £40, £45, £50, £55, around £60 to £80 for some of the more high-end figures like the Optimus Primes and Megatrons of this world. Also, we have to start thinking about the masterpiece scale as well. And when you start putting that into context compared to the Hasbro mainline, you start thinking, well, I'm paying £60 to £80 for this Legends class figure compared to a Commander class figure from Hasbro. And sometimes those figures can be pretty damn good. I mean, look at Siege Jetfire, for example. Excellent value for money, £70 to £80 when he came out in the shops. That was a stunning deal. And still today, you can see on the secondary market, generally speaking, those figures do hold their price point. In fact, sometimes have gone up. That's especially clear with the Titan class range. As we can see, pretty much every single one of the Titans is worth more than when it was sold at retail. However, that's not necessarily true for the majority of the Hasbro mainline, especially the deluxes and the smaller figures like the core class figures, which seem to be losing value on the secondary market. Is it to do with the limited availability of the Titans and the larger figures? I don't think so, because the Commander class was actually well stocked. Skylinks, for example, and Rodimus have both been discounted. Is it to do with the engineering, the aesthetics, and how they actually present themselves? I think so. If you look at someone like Huffer over here, the Fanstoys figure is a decent looking figure and it came out around 15 to 20 pounds. The Magic Square figure is a lovely figure and it came out in a 2-pack at around 30 pounds, although it's a few years old now. And you look at the Hasbro offering at 18 pounds, Huffer was a decent good value for money figure, and in fact became discounted at many places down to around £15. Take this little display of bumblebees for reference. On the left we have the Masterpiece scaled, albeit old school Masterpiece scaled, Toy World Bee, who's probably going to set you back around £30 these days, although it's a very old figure now. The Netflix Bumblebee cost about that, brand new, and then Titan's Return Bumblebee, who was about £10-12 in the shops when he came out new, probably could be had for about £5 to £10 on the secondary market now. And on the end there we have Magic Square's Bumblebee, who was about £18 to £20 brand new, probably would cost you £20 to £25 now. Compare that with someone like Cyclonus, 15 for the Fanstoys, 30 for the Magic Square, and 25 for the Hasbro mainline. That's there or thereabouts. However, we've got this flip side on the third party, the New Age and the Magic Square, or in Masterpiece Land, Fanstoys and X-Transbots seem to actually appreciate in value. And is it because the figures are so hard to get hold of, or because they just go out of stock so quickly and everybody wants them? But it's a case of if you miss it on launch, then you're going to be paying 10 to 20% more compared to in Hasbro Land, where we're actually tending to pay less for a figure if you hold off for the moment. So my question to all of you is it easier to justify spending more on third-party figures? It certainly seems to be the case with some manufacturers, especially the ones which have done more engineering or more aesthetically pleasing figures. And then with regards to Hasbro mainline, are we too hard on them? Do we actually get fantastic value for money out of them? My point normally is that Fanstoys are doing a really good job of giving us value for money. But even these Fanstoys figures nowadays are pushing the £25 to £30 price point for what we would deem to be a deluxe class figure from Hasbro, which is only costing us 20 quid and is double the size. And on the Masterpiece side, Wei Zhang and some of the other third-party KO companies who are actually knocking off third-party figures and producing oversized or undersized versions for themselves, they are providing the value for money element, whereas the Fanstoys and the XTB and the Fans Hobbies of this world are producing the high-end figures, which are costing a lot more. I think for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start looking at how much am I spending on a particular figure in comparison to what I could be getting for that money if I spent it elsewhere. And specifically, I'm talking about someone like Magic Square's Hound, which I've pre-ordered at around £35. £35 for what we will class as a deluxe class figure with some nice accessories versus the equivalent £35 from a Hasbro mainline figure, which is realistically going to be somewhere between a Voyager and a leader class figure. Now, I'm probably going to do a review of Magic Square's Hound when he comes out. I will try and compare him to the Siege equivalent because that figure was good and it was decent at the deluxe price point. However, I feel that Magic Square's Hound is going to be more aesthetically pleasing, more G12 accurate, better engineered, have better plastic quality, and better accessories. And does all of that equate to a 75% price uplift? We'll have to see. But when I'm buying my Titans, you can guarantee I'll be buying Hasbro mainline. Although, let's be honest, if you're like me, you're going to get them all. And on that bombshell, I've been Rohan for another week. Join me again next week on Rohan's Corner. Back to the studio.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Ah, that was a very good episode. It's probably one of my favourites so far. Right, thank you so much, Rohan. I think I think you're missing out so much if you just collect Chug, or if you just collect Masterpiece, or if you just collect Legends. There's so many standout figures on each one of those lines. You should always have a little dabble where you can. Right, what's next? Pickups, mate. Let's find the pickups.
Third party news.
Are we not doing the rest of the news?
Hang on a sec, I'll check. We
You don't have to do the news screen thing again. There's Phil. Thank God. I was wondering where he'd got to. Can you see the news?
Oh,
Not
sorry,
yet.
it's still playing that.
Just looking for it though.
Anytime
Right,
you're
a
ready.
bucket load of third-party news. On this
Tons
way.
of
Let's
it.
Do
like-
this.
like
Let's just go for
stupid
it.
amounts.
So,
Jizz,
Legend
Jizz
Scale,
Eye Toys.
Jizz Eye Toys, yeah. Jizz Eye, Jizz, Eye Jizzers, and this is, I think it's their Legend Scale Raiden. Show some more pictures, and I'll
That's
know.
good to eye.
Train,
Get
it's a train.
sweet. Get
Is it
sweet.
good?
Good sweet.
Do you know it's actually not too bad for a legend?
Cool. Next. This is fit mode. Keep going. We've got time. There's so much to get through.
There
Right.
really is.
X
Oh, what we got
Transbots.
here? X-Transbots render.
Nice.
Is this masterpiece size?
Yes, and they're
I
going to
think so,
release, I think it was 46 different robots over the course of 2022.
Wow.
Well,
By
no,
just-
they're not.
Just
All Constructicons.
repaints. Yeah.
All rebates.
Oh, they actually are.
How many?
They
colours
really
in
are.
this?
Not a joke.
Oh.
It's
You're just
they're
joking.
quite serious. MMC.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, this is it. I pre-ordered this. There's two different versions. There's one it's a comic version, one's a cartoon accurate one. I went for the comic one because I presumed the cartoon accurate one at some point Hasbro Pulse will do it.
Is that Defosaurus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. There's
And
Rewind.
eject and rewind.
I like the proportions on those.
Who
That's
doesn't?
what she said.
Oh, come on.
Come on, name of your sex tape.
Fanstoys Blaster / Recorder. Should see this sometime in 2028.
Fucking
Fucking Fans Toys. I don't like the head that much, do you? Maybe it's because it's not coloured.
Isn't that the comic book style head?
Yes, it definitely looks like the G1 Marvel head.
And then you've got the
That's a
more.
cartoon.
Yeah.
All right.
Options. Dancing rhinos. And lions.
That looks good. I just
Yeah, that
wish
looks
they would
wicked.
do a proper Hasbro Pulse would do a proper, toy of that.
So that's. I know I've joked, and I've joked in the chat about X-Transbots on their many, many renders. When I saw the RS200, I pretty much lost it. It's wicked. It's like one of my favourite cars, and I would
yeah.
just be buying it.
Is
For
this
the
a
fact
photo
that it's an
box?
RS200.
Doesn't even need to transform.
No,
No, why
I
they
would
blurred it. That's not
literally
my.
keep
That's
it
not my
in-
pictures, by the way. That's how they've released it.
Yeah, they've
But yeah,
decided
it
to
looks
borrow
awesome
the
in
text.
robot mode. I love
Yeah,
the
it
double
does.
wheels of the throttle bots.
I know Alpha was talking about this. He was quite excited, but it's masterpiece, so I can't go there.
Detective Conan. Who's this? Is this?
This is like Fans Hobby, doesn't it?
Nightbeat. Is that
It's
not
like the Fans
Nightbeat?
Hobby Junior head. Oh, yeah, maybe that's why it's like Fans Hobby, because they released.
I think it's still X-Transbots. But I could be
Is it
wrong, and I'm
Scoop?
willing to be.
Is it Scoop?
Yes, Scoop.
Scoop.
Or Dig Pig
Yeah.
with puncture and track shot. It's a nice
Just to
version
have
of
it.
Scoop, to be fair.
Thrilling 30 version was nice.
It was all right, yeah. It,
Had a nice
it had
chunky
its
metal bit on
drawbacks,
it.
but it was.
No.
It's
It was the
drawbacks,
best
it's
Transformer
drawbacks.
ever. There was no drawbacks. It was the greatest of all the
Actually,
Is that why
Transformers.
you've still got your copy, Paul?
That was the first time
Sold it for
I'd ever
£15.
spoke to Paul on Facebook was over Scoop because he posted
was
on
it?
Transformers UK forum. You got saying he got this, and I went, "Where did you get this from?" And he told me about Kapow Toys forum, and that's how I discovered Kapow Toys forum.
I was
And
like
then-
the feeder. To your
Yes,
addiction.
Yeah, the enabler. This is. Who is this? Is this Planet X? Because that's Cadmus, isn't it? Planet X Cadmus. So this must be Planet X's.
No, Mick.
What's he called?
What is that? Victory Leo?
Yeah. Their version. Which will
Ooh,
combine
That
with
looks
Cadmus.
sexy.
It's
There
too
you go.
pointy. Just Planet X is far too pointy. For me, anyway.
Too many sharp edges.
Yeah.
Could be
It doesn't
dangerous.
look fun.
Nightmare if you've got
that's
kids
a
around.
butt plug, would you?
Kids sliced to ribbons. We've already seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah,
Isn't this
Alexis
the
really likes it
Batman? He does.
though.
He chucked it in the news again. Why not, eh?
Yeah.
And
It
then,
did, but I saw it on social media today, actually, again. That's the
I'm
Batman
not
one,
sure.
was that Alexis too?
For once, it wasn't.
And then
Arrowfire.
they've recolored
Yes.
Eris, haven't they, to the Armada colours of Megatron?
Arrowfire's
give it a
commented,
yes.
I'm going to have to get this, but it was like for something ages ago he wrote it about. And I'm all night now I'm going to pit up to things that he doesn't want to get. So it'll be like,
I just keep pushing.
I'm going to have to get this, I think.
So
Dude,
we'll
Put up a
be here.
picture really, really quick.
where's that giraffe?
Giraffes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get this.
Arrowfire's in for this one as
Is that a bit
well.
of bumble
Yeah, don't
jumping?
blame him.
It does look nice.
No, that's hubcap.
Is it
isn't
hubcap?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I just don't like Hubcap's face. Sorry, it just reminds me of fucking Trump with that orange face. I just no.
He's pointing. He's coming for you. He's not happy about that, Jamie.
Which one, Trump or Hubcap?
Both, probably both. HDB Toys are doing some
Love you,
are they
Ian.
GI Joe style crossover type stuff. Nanobots.
Do you think the guys when they were designing
21
this went
millimeters.
to the graphics were like, oh, there's quite a lot of negative space there.
Oops,
No,
yeah.
it'll be fine. Just put right in the middle.
I feel like Alexis had a hand
Put it down at the
given the
bottom.
pictures he sends.
Not even the middle, because we don't do that.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I don't know
I
what to
don't
say
like
about
it.
these,
I
really.
don't like these at all.
Let's see
To
what
me, they're
Aaron...
like a...
Oh,
they're
Arrowfire's
very
up for
niche.
it.
Of course he is. He loves it.
He's just a madman.
Which version of Hound is this?
Unpainted.
Prototype. Prototype Hound. Does it come with these accessories? I don't know why these are here. Alexis, this is why you need to put details on these things. Anyway, there it is. It's a version of Hound.
Well, yeah. It's the Action Force or GI Joe. Is it Vamp? Oh, well, actually, it all depends on how they're going to colour it, to be honest.
Right. Well, there you go. That at least makes a bit more sense now.
If it's black and yellow, it'll be like Action Force SAS, which that probably won't be. It'll be green for Hound.
Is this the company that I think Alexis had mentioned he'd pre-ordered that's the Soundwave that turned into his tank, but like nothing seems to have happened with it yet? And I think he asked a question on social media of possibly the person who designed this and was doing this, just to say, is there any update on the Soundwave? I don't know if he got a reply. It's a
Did he
mystery.
get blocked?
So
Immediately.
Can we go back? Obviously, the huge Action Force and GI Joe fan. What scale is that figure inside it? 3 3/4.
It must
Probably.
be.
Looking at the bottle behind.
Can you zoom it?
What, is that a tin? A tray, rather.
Yeah, that
Recognize it?
No, it looks
They
3
put-
3/4ish. Or
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
could be vintage collection.
There you go. Anyway, there's also a random picture of an RC head. Any ideas? Anyone?
Other
than
have
RC.
no idea.
that's,
Someone's doing an RC. And that's the head.
That's
Yay.
Papa Toys RC head. They're releasing
There we
next
go.
year.
Looks shit.
It transforms though.
We've already seen
Transforms.
it.
It transforms into
Transforms
Daniel
into
in an
Unicron.
exosuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really clever.
Just from that tiny size.
There's a lot of folding taking place there.
We've seen these before, haven't we? These fans hobby.
Yeah.
Lovely colours.
They
Nice.
They look very good in colour.
Barbs.
And then there's some add-on kits for your Studio Series 86 Grimlock. So you can give him a throne and sword, or swords, because you've got
All
options
for
there.
like 50 quid probably.
Crown, yeah, all for a price that's more than the actual figure was.
Yeah.
I think those
Brad,
form shoulder
Brad
pads,
is
don't
right.
they?
It's Barbara from Sylvanian Families. Should have known.
it.
Should have known.
Babs. Dirty, dirty Babs. Go, keep going. 2 more hours.
I am. Although, as you put it out before, news is what most people watch and then they switch it off, so let's drag it out.
I mean, it is a clever idea using the Sharkticons, obviously.
Rohan's the most popular bit.
The shoulder pad.
That's just with the ladies. And the men. That's his throne, unpainted version.
Putin's
And
going
then you
after
get onto
Peppa
Kang
Pig.
Toys.
I love Peppa Pig.
So is this the first time we've seen all of them? Arrowfire will know because he's collecting them, as is Alexis. I think that's the first time we've had like a shot of all of them.
They're doing that Optimus Prime over then.
Arafat's done the whole video on this. Probably better than ours as well. So.
Nah,
People
impossible.
only watch
There's the
yesterday,
combined
yeah.
mode.
2 pointy. Move on.
Offense
doesn't
tonight,
like the
pointiness.
If you're watching Kang Toys,
That looks more like Zoids, though, to me. I just look at
it
that.
does look quite
It has
Zoidish.
got a Zoids feel to it, which, if that's your thing, buy Zoids.
And there's Tantrum as a leg, and also Headstrong as a leg.
Oh, it makes a foot.
Yeah,
was
the
wondering
little
what
wolf
that
thing.
is.
Well,
with
there are
the feet.
combiners. There are combiners.
There you
I
go,
didn't
in the
expect it to
robot
have
mode.
Combining
So we've got 1,
foots.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and whatever that little crab thing is down on the floor. Get your
That
money's
reminds
worth.
me of that. That assassin's got it from Mastermind Creations. What's his name? Vox. Is it Vox? No, it's the other one. I've forgotten his name. The one that turns into a torture chair.
Yeah.
These look really, really cool. I'm just not into them.
2 point you
I'm
make.
just not, I don't like over stylized things, but
Yeah,
they look dramatic.
they certainly do. Windblade.
I like
which
that.
company
I like
this one
that.
is. But it's actually quite good. I like the jet mode as well.
Oh,
I mean, I see sometimes it gets criticism, but I think what these people have
Not
to
for being
accept-
too pointy.
yeah, definitely for being 2 pointy, especially in the chest region. But I think what they have to accept is something that they say often to other people is it's not for you. It's for other people. It's very much aimed at the adult market. It's coming from the Asian market. So again, you might be a bit disappointed, because it's not made for you. But it's just one of those things. There's plenty of other versions
Yeah.
which are made for you.
Not
And I think
everything's
that's
for
something-
everyone.
And I think that's something we should all take on board, just because we don't like a Prime figure or we don't like a certain cartoon like the new Transformers cartoon because we think, it's too aimed at kids. Again, it's not aimed at me. It's aimed at a kids market, and that's how these things work.
That's right.
The
And people
paintwork
should
on
just try and
this
get on, shouldn't they?
Is
Yeah.
incredible.
Let people
Look at
like
the
what they wanna like.
detail.
I would like to get that. I hope it comes pre-built because I've got the model kit for the other one. I'm like, oh my god, no.
Like the blue on her crown pointy head. Just
It's
looks
very
like-
well rounded, but everything's actually a bit rounded.
Not sure what you mean there, Jamie. Another Cyclonus.
What's happened to his face?
Oh, Arify's in for this, which is weird because he likes Quietus.
It looks like a conservative MP, sort of typical smug face.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And he's
Oh,
even doing the stands to sort of like.
Oh,
So
that's
this
epic
is-
as well. That's
I think
really
this
good.
is a re-release as well, isn't it? So this has been
Is it
released
called
before.
Oculus or something?
It's version 2.
It does look good, that alt mode. I mean, Cyclonus seems to look good all the time now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good. I mean, that's very
I think we're going to get
accurate to the
repaint.
animation model, isn't it?
It's like his chin's being censored.
Choice of heads.
Redacted. Was it? Redacted.
Redacted.
God, that first
Redacted.
head is scary. That's just
Been
that just
redirected.
looks great.
Which one?
The first
Top
head. If I got that, I would just smash that head. I would just go. You're going. Not keeping you.
It's not as good as Quietus at all. Because I can see him there, and I can see you, X-Transbots. I can see you. You're not as good.
And we've got Lemon Tree Prime. So this is the Bumblebee movie Prime, another version of that. Compatible with the Earthrise Optimus Prime trailer.
Which nobody
can point.
uses.
Tiny trailer.
Just saying.
He can crouch, he
Same.
can kneel down,
That's important.
Cool.
he
Keep
can
going.
light his chest up,
Nice.
and he can stand in a walking pose. I can tell by the way he uses his walk. And then is this actually a figure or is this a custom that Alexis sent in? It seems to be
I
like a
think it is a
combiner made
figure.
of Junkions.
If it's a custom, I think it's fantastic. Whoever has
Oh, yeah.
That is wicked.
If it's not a custom,
It says like toys down there, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is something
I'm
they're
not
actually going
gonna
to make
play
and
it.
release. Alexis will be doing his nut when he watches this back, screaming at the TV.
Mick. Lots of people saying custom. Mick.
Yeah, I can see that.
Devastator saying custom.
It's laser printed.
It's a custom
I can see
Mick.
the-
That's incredible.
See the
oh, it's
lines.
pretty awesome for a custom, and the
Oh.
face is actually good.
Yeah,
'Cause
look at that.
sometimes with customs, no offense, but sometimes it's the face they mess up on, and that face is rock
Yeah.
solid.
And
I'm
obviously
sure
we
that
can all read
happy
that.
to know that.
So there you go.
Not even
And then-
Airfry's Prime is compatible with the Airfry's trainer.
Who said that?
Ed.
Oh, Ed, you wonderful man. Which version of Percept is this one then?
One I'm not going to buy.
I think Arrowfire is.
Let's check
He's
it
in
out.
for it, I think.
We'll find out soon.
I'm sure Alexis said something about whichever version this is. They've just basically done it so you've got a different head, and then they release it again and charge another 60 quid. And this was something he sent, which seemed to be a list of bots. I'm sure he sent from a particular company, but because of the actual picture he sent, like you zoom in, you can't really see a hell of a lot. So basically, there's going to be lots. So you know,
there are no Artfire, Grapple,
sell your
Holland.
house.
Yeah.
You can pick all those up. And then Transart Toys teaser of is that a shark?
Yeah,
And a
shark.
gun.
You cock the shark and fire it.
Cracking. Back to the other figure, but now in black. Slightly different head because it's got a visor now. Get your money's worth. And then the last picture from today's news, which is
Thank God.
Megatank MT02, which
They keep
is.
showing Mega Tank. I seriously every time news.
Do we think this is going to be based on the Beast Wars Megatron? I don't know, something about the arms and the shoulders and the legs makes me think of the Beast Wars Megatron. Anyway, it's like that Mega Tank that we've shown several times before. It's from the same company, and yeah, let's see what it looks like. Happy days. And the sharing has stopped.
But the caring hasn't.
Never does.
Never does. Let's go on to the pickups. Oh, I'm a bit burpy tonight. I need someone to do that thing to my back that you do to the babies.
You need to get yourself an antacids, mate.
Oh, it's
Andrew's
pain there.
antacids.
This is the hot conversation that people tune in
bit
for.
burps.
It's
a
like
little burp.
antacids.
Well, old people have antacids when you're 20. You need to get some acid, mate.
Get some Horlicks. Get to bed early.
Right, get your dicks out. It's dick ups.
We now return to the Transformers.
Who would like to go first? Andy, would you like to go first?
I don't mind, yeah. I didn't
Go
want
on
to
then.
step on anyone's toes.
No, that's fine.
Right, I'll make it really quick. So, obviously, we've already discussed Iguanas.
Oh my
There
god,
he
you're
is again.
still going on about that. That's like
I
the
know,
10th time I've seen that this week.
I might have to put it in the news again next week. And then the only other thing I kind of got this week, so this is a bit of a cheat. So you'll all remember that I got.
What the fuck? You could have
Skelly
still been
Gold.
talking about Iguanas. I was looking forward to that.
You all remember I got Skelly Gold a couple of weeks ago. It might be
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. God knows, who knows time. And then I think I told the lads last week, I'm sure I had this conversation with you, but I had been drinking, that my wife bought some toys for my youngest daughter and son the other week. And the box arrived, and kids asked me to help them open it up. And we opened it up, and there's a doll thing for Emily. Gave her that. And then there was two Masters of the Universe figures in there. So I thought, oh, brilliant. She's got one for Lucas and one for me. Isn't that nice? No, they were both for Lucas. So he took them. But then this week, he's announced to me that he thinks I should have them and that I should have them as part of my collection, which is very
Aw.
nice of him. So now I have Skeletor and He-Man. So he's he even
Nice.
suggested I put them back in the boxes. That wasn't just me being me.
Trained him well.
And then the other thing I got was a nice surprise from Claire, because she got an Amazon voucher thing and she decided to use it on me. And in light of recent purchases, she picked me up Scareglow, which was nice, which is another one I really wanted. Which isn't the SDCC version, obviously, because that one's like ridiculously hard to pick up now. But I just really like the design of this character. So
The
yeah,
head glows though, doesn't
the
it?
head
on that one?
does glow in the dark. I'm not gonna lie, it ain't the best glow in the dark. I mean, if you really want some
Well,
glow in
you
the
have
dark,
to-
you want that Origins figure.
You have to charge them up though. You have to
Yeah,
keep them
if it's-
outside for a bit. Well, not outside.
Sellotape it to a light bulb.
Thank God for that. I was wondering what you meant by charge. I thought I'd just rub him or something. Anyway, very nice and much appreciated. That was a nice surprise. And that's it. That's me. Picked up.
Real. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
Jamie.
You want to share? You want to make the picture big?
No, you want me to make the
No,
picture
you
big.
do.
You
Yeah,
like some
no.
big giraffes, that is.
So I'll try to get that right. Yep.
They
So
have big cocks.
Yeah.
Oh, and you, Tabby, if you just sold your SDCC version of, I'd have had that off you.
so I got basically the same thing as Andy, but this week I did a photo which I was quite pleased of Fangry,
Amazing.
which
I
is
love that
you
photo.
know,
Lovely.
But the biggest compliment I can pay Jamie with that photo is I don't particularly like Fangry's alt mode, but actually in that photo, it made me want to get him off the display shelves and transform him into his alt mode because that just makes it look awesome.
Yeah, I really that's a really nice compliment, Andy. Thank you. Yeah, so I really enjoyed taking that photo. I had the idea in my head, and I just really wanted to go through with it. Even though I've had Fangry for about it must be half a year or a year even, you know. But I feel I'm getting more confident now when I'm setting up dioramas and scenes now. And I made the background as well, you know, using other people's artwork, obviously, which is free to take PNGs and stuff. So. And sort of amalgamating together to create the background. But yeah, so I really enjoyed taking that photo. It's quite hard because it's very dark black and etc. But anyway, the same thing that Andy got. There's my iguanas, and this was my first time working with water, so I was trying to sort of create a sort of reflection.
How did you do that?
Very
Is that a
difficult.
is
I
that a
never want to
mirror?
work. No, it's not a mirror. It's actual water.
Is it?
And
Wow.
Yeah, and I never want to work with water again. Because
Oh, no.
Stunning, Jamie.
Yeah,
It's really good.
It's
that figure
absolutely incredible.
You kept fucking diving in and falling in, you know, and water's like going everywhere and stuff because I tried to get it right to do. You know, but
That's a great photo, Jamie. Again, I especially like the little touch with the little cave in the background as well. Like he's just
Yeah.
emerged from it.
Sublime.
you know, so yeah, so I couldn't decide which was the best one, so I'm just going to show all three. I was trying to narrow it down.
Really, why aren't lizards real?
If only they
I know.
were.
I know.
It's hilarious, wasn't it?
What a crazy concept.
Lizards and millipedes coming to life.
So I couldn't decide between that and that sort of portrait one, just to see more of the reflection of the water. And then there's one just to sort of zoom up on because he is a lovely figure with a lot of detail. The one thing I do love about Andy's photos is that, you know, each one of his photographs really showed off the detail really well. So I'll eventually post them up in social media. But yeah, that's what I was doing last weekend with my figure and stuff. I know.
They're really good, Jamie.
Yeah, but I don't want to work with water again. It's something I wanted to do in the checklist, you know, to see if I had done it and try to work with it just to get that genuine sort of reflection of to see how it worked. But yeah, so that was basically my pickups.
Awesome. Rudy, would you like to go next, sir?
Sure. Thanks. Two things. One is not exactly new, but I made it new. So
Do it.
because I got the weapons pack from Valiverse, I got creative with the X-Acto knife and I took off G.I. Joe Classified Flint's armored vest. And I added the kind of gold and wooden assault rifle and pistol to give him a Action Force Weekly UK comic look to move him
Nice.
away from
Which is
G.I.
awesome.
Joe.
Some good work.
But yeah, it's just, and I shared it on a little Facebook group, and everyone was loving it.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Rightfully so.
And it's surprising how many other people have done similar to you, haven't they?
yeah. I think most people hadn't gone as extreme. They kind of left his bullets on there, but I wanted just. There's so many panels where he's just shirted, where he does
Yeah.
look like a warrant, like he is David Fairborn, the warrant officer, as opposed to Dashiell Fairborn. But yeah, that's making a figure new, which I'm all for. And then I'm gonna have to go back because I went, oh, I've gone big, and I went for a Joy Toy 1/18 scale mech. And this thing is absolutely immense. So it comes part built, and it took me, like 4 hours to build. 4 hours, and it was part built. But it's incredible. I've got this insane love for 1990s anime with mecha, and I really wanted a representation that wasn't kind of anything that I'd ever had before. So I treated myself to something a bit more insane. So this is like 1/18th scale. It's absolutely huge, but it's really clever. So it's all done with friction, and like a lot of the soft goods are actually holding it together, but some bits are kind of a bit loose. So when you do kind of pose it, you're not creating stress marks. It's incredibly clever. The best part though is it comes with a 3 3/4 action figure, which you can actually put in the cockpit at the back. Why would you want to put it in the cockpit and hide it? But yeah, so that's so you can see the.
I mean, that's why I'm disappointed.
Sheer immense of this
with the the Hasbro G.I. Joe vintage what do you call it, retro line, because they were doing good retro figures. And then they've kind of went backwards to like where they were originally done, way back in the the 80s, and I don't like that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's all hand painted and just incredibly robust. But it was like 50% fun, 50% frustration. The instructions were retarded, and I had to watch a couple of tutorials on how to put it together. But yeah, incredible amounts of fun. But at points, I started.
Did you not do a Hard Panther?
No, I was not going anywhere near Hard Panther with this. I was like getting as much research as possible. I couldn't figure it out, even with tutorials. I couldn't see what they were doing. There's only a handful of people have like reviewed this, but yeah, I was meant to be getting Warhammer from Joy Toy, just like
I remember you saying
Paul, but no, I went
distracted.
Yeah, I looked at mechs and I was just like, God, I remember watching Patley Bore and all that stuff in the 90s. I was just like, yeah, I need me a representation of that.
Oh, that is awesome. That does look good. Cool. Did you get anything else, sir?
That's it. Just, well, an old figure and something I got from China. So it took like 3 weeks to get here anyway.
What was that?
What you just showed.
Oh, right. That. Okay. I thought it was another old figure or something.
What did I get this week? First of all, I got this.
Oh, did you get that plushy giraffe you're after?
Do you know what? I didn't. But
That's a shame.
I've got a license one.
The pictures help, don't they? The pictures help.
They tell the story, don't they? So this is... I can't remember what it was. It was a Transformer I bought the other day. I'm not sure why the yellow has gone like that. Oh, it's because I put green screen on. I think it was an X-Men crossover. It's
Why have you got a green screen on? Is this not your office anymore?
Where are you?
This has never been. My office is downstairs. I bought a green screen though, and I had it up a couple of weeks ago, but I can't be bothered to put it up. So yeah, bought him. But apparently it's a yellow screen. So yeah, bought that.
You enjoying that?
Yeah, it's alright.
You enjoying that figure? How much was that figure when it came out? Yeah,
it was about 70 quid, wasn't it? 70.
I think it was a bit more. I think it was like
80.
I think it increased in price after the sort of general price increase, but I think it was out about 70.
Do you know the worst bit of it is that in its jet mode it looks sublime, and in the box is lovely. It looks sublime. And it's just that feeling. You take it out of those horrible little fucking things that Hasbro uses to keep it locked into the box, and the whole thing just melts in your hand. You're like, it was a fucking illusion all along. You weren't a good toy. You lied.
You've been trapped. Sucker punched.
But £29 at the Entertainer if you like supporting weird religious shops.
I mean, I suppose if you buy it, it's about as close as you can get to owning a GoBot these days.
But yeah, Rohan's right. Burn.
It's not that dissimilar to third party.
What else did I
only
get?
took him an hour to insult me, didn't it?
got,
didn't realise you were holding Optimus Prime then. I thought you just came walking in threatening you.
I was looking for something else. I've got something else. I can't remember what it was.
Prime.
There's 4 things.
Whacks you while you're not looking.
I bought Transform Elements Prime. Now, what a boy. He is so too inaccurate though. Like, look how clean he is.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you'd
wicked.
think he's like an enhanced Super 7 or an Action Master or something. He's not. He's a masterpiece scale Optimus Prime. But yeah, I've wanted him for ages, and I've got him now, so I'm really happy. One guy who I haven't wanted at all really for ages, but I felt that I had to kind of get, is that in my bedroom I have like my select best of the best toys that I own, which my wife absolutely loves having next to the bed. And the top shelf is my my movie 86 line, which is mainly all fans' toys, but they don't do a Ultra Magnus. So I went for Butt Flap Ultra Magnus, which was £50. I can't believe how big the box is. Huge old box. He's big. I haven't transformed him yet, but sometimes you just get a transformer and you just get really excited about transforming him. And this is one guy I can't wait to transform because he's going to be so big and blocky and a nice white chassis. I'll dive into him.
Do you know he looks quite cool?
He does, yeah. He really does. And I was talking to Ian about him, and Ian was saying he's quite an old masterpiece figure, the Takara one. So he's not a new boy at all, but he holds up really well.
Really good. He looks like the
considered
cartoon
one of the
character.
best Ultra Magnuses.
Oh yeah, and I've got a lot
Whatever
of.
you call it.
And how much did you pay for him? Like £50?
Yeah, so he's probably a KO.
£50 for a masterpiece, though, even if it is a KO, is still pretty good.
Yeah,
How much is a masterpiece nowadays?
I think he's loads. The
Like,
the
are
real
they like
version.
120 quid for like Hound?
Yeah, well, 140. No, 240. I think. Oh, I can't remember. Loads like that stupid MP44 was like £300 for a crap version where you can spend £90. I think he's even £60 now on the Megalock for Transform Elements. Right, and the final bit was I've got Space Marine, and this is the McFarlane version. Picked him up at the weekend, and yeah, he is cool. It's just weird though, because I've kind of I'm not in with White Dwarf anymore. I don't read White Dwarf or any new and upcoming, so this is a completely new guy for me. But it's kind of like someone went, how do we make Space Marines cool for the future? And they've gone, should we put wings on the back? First of all, promoted. Great idea. We'll do that. Just seems a bit wanky. Like that's the only thing they've done differently. But it's good
Is
figure.
that like the Scout Marines, ones used for jumping?
I think it must be, yeah, because you can see the small shoulder pads. But
yeah,
I'm sure someone will let us know in the chat. But some real
Reaver
heft behind that. Reaver, yeah, it was a Reaver one. But yeah, good pickups this week. Enjoyed this week in the world of Transformers and toys. What's next? Let's do
Fanstoys
foreplay.
Innuendo? Oh, foreplay.
Anytime I use Rohans Corner early because of a mistake on the show, it throws me for the rest of the show. Right, on to foreplay.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. They'll think you want to join in.
Foreplay this week was choose a Studio 86. Choose a movie 86 robot. So we've all chosen a movie 86 robot. Who the fuck would like to kick this off?
I could go first.
Go on, you
So,
big mother.
basically, actually, I was chosen the predecessor to this guy, and that's basically Hot Rod is my 86 character. It's actually a very hard choice because all the 86 figures, apart from maybe Bor's face, and then Cup's dead eyes, are exceptionally quite good. I mean, they are just really fun figures to have. But Hot Rod to me was just like one of the sort of best characters because with Hot Rod, you didn't need fancy scenes or dioramas and stuff like that. You just wanted to take a photo of that figure, with just a nice simple backing card because, he's so poseable. You just couldn't believe that this was a Chug, considering the way Chug started off as his bricks. to suddenly having something that's very articulated, easy to sort of. I mean, obviously, Masterpiece is always going to be much better to pose, but this was getting very close for me. And obviously, it's a lot of homage to the cartoon. The fact that the sort of glasses come down, they can disappear into the head, but the hands can disappear, and you could put in the saw part, the chainsaw, whatever that saw thing is called. And you got the lasers which you could fit on as well. It just really is in a sort of an awesome, fun character to have. With immaculate detail, brilliant colors, and just looks good. Just looks like that cartoon character. And it's just, as I said before, there's just so many sort of poses you could put this character into, and it's just such a fun character to work with.
That was your Akira shot.
Yes, that was my Akira shot, which I wanted to do the minute I got Hot Rod, was to do that Akira shot. Yeah, I mean, looking into there, you can see the detail when you got much closer. It's just such a good figure, very well polished. I mean, I think the thing that disappoints some people is because of Hasbro Pulse or Hasbro quality control. When you get a figure like that, it might have a scratch on the chest. Some of the paint work, could be a bit off because of that. And that can spoil a figure like this, because the whole thing about Hot Rod is about being clean and futuristic. So I can understand when someone gets a scratch why it's quite annoying, especially in the chest, because it's not like it can be hidden in the detail, because Hot Rod, it's all about bright colours, very clean next to each other. So I'm lucky with this, to have a sort of very clean figure, where Rodimus, which I showed at the start, had a lot of quality control issues, I think, with the paintwork. There's some more photos. Just again, a good figure to mess around with. There's his car mode. Car mode, just fun.
God, that really shows how big the Dinobots are.
Oh, yeah. Dinobots are quite huge. And then there's Rodimus. I put in Rodimus by mistake. And there's Hot Rod giving a Sharkticon a good time, which I always love that photo. It's the one that makes me laugh the most, just because of the way the light hit the eyes. And just sort of added to the panic of the Sharkticon.
Oh, yeah.
So it always just makes me laugh, that photo. And there it is, there, riding a slag. No, there it is, riding slug. Whatever way you want to call him, whatever floats your boat. Personally, I actually call him Slug, to be honest. That's the type of man I am. So that's Hot Rod there, and then basically there's the sort of figure I've got there, just a fantastic, fun figure there. And through lightning fast transformation skills, we've got him and his vehicle.
Every week without fail.
I know.
It's amazing. I can't wait till he does this live in front of
Was
an
it
audience.
Grapple that he said was a really easy transformation?
Yeah, Grapple.
His
Transformation.
and ever since then, he's always bought 2 Transformers.
That's how he does it.
Cool. That was brilliant. Photos were amazing. And I still I sold my Studio Series Hot Rod and I bought him back again because he's brilliant. A lovely but I'll go next then. Me.
Hello.
Face. Hello, Rudy. So I went to Quietus, Fanstoys, because he kind of set me on a bit of a journey. He's such a big boy as well. I really like that I have certain sections. So when I was talking earlier about collecting Masterpiece and collecting Legends and collecting Chug, and you shouldn't really restrict yourself to one. If you collect certain bits from different things, you can have a little splash out and try a little bit of everything. And for the movie 86, which was probably for me the seminal bit of Transformers, the most important bit to me, I've gone for the Fanstoys robots. So almost all my studio fucking movie 86 robots are all Fanstoys. But the first one I bought was this bad boy. I bought it from Mark Granger, a fan of the show, who watches sometimes, and he's done it for a really good price. And it's one I've always wanted. Now the reason it's so good is that he's really heavy. He's heavier than a bag of sugar, I would say, if you're wondering about that heaviness. He's got metal bits in him. The engineering's lovely, transforms beautifully, and it's not a complicated transformation. There are definitely loads of Fanstoys transformations which are really horrible. This isn't one of them. He flows. It's a Masterpiece transformation, It will take a little bit of time, but you don't need instructions for it. I've never ever used instructions. He's sensible, intuitive, and a little bit sexy. He's not just one of the best 86 movie bots that I own. He's one of the best Transformers I've ever purchased. And then finally, probably just an honourable mention, was my little Papa Toys hot rod, which I love. I do love the one that you bought, Jamie. The Chug one is beautiful. Probably beats this one, but no one ever talks about this guy, the Papa Toys hot rod. And his colours are probably the best Legend colours hot rod you can get, and probably the best alt mode. And again, lovely transformation, good fun to do, and highly recommended. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Cool.
So I have gone for the Alicon. So I waited my whole life to own an Alicon. When I first saw the movie, they were the most exciting part for me, was the race of Sharkticons, and these guys in general. I just never thought it was ever going to get made. I went to the extent of, when I had my £5 pocket money, I went and bought Overbite, or Jawbreaker, as I know him, because he was close enough to looking like a Sharkticon, an Alicon in the movie. But obviously he's not. He's a Seacon. But yeah. So obviously the alt mode is a pile of shit, but the robot mode absolutely epitomizes the 86 movie for me. The colours pop, and I just never thought it was obviously going to get made. And it's just an incredibly fun, and he looks awesome next to the Quintesson and the Studio Series Nor. That is my choice, the Alicon.
Absolute legend of a choice. Who would have thought? We do get a bit spoiled, don't we, that Hasbro would be releasing fucking Alicons in like 2020. Insane in the membrane. Insane, got no brain. Andy.
Nice Cypress Hill reference. I thought I'd go for Cyclonus' Armada. So I've gone for the G1 Bombshell.
Nice.
That's
the dead version as well.
I hope you're watching, Ed. It's not just because it was on the side over there, and we only really decided this about 20 minutes ago. But that was part of it, definitely. But also, there's been an earthquake in Paul's house. We'll just cry.
Microphone.
Yeah, he was in the movie. I liked the Insecticons, and then they killed him off. But they did turn him into Cyclonus and Scourge and all the others, so it was, it was all right, I suppose. But Bombshell was always my favourite one, and he isn't in the movie a lot, but he's there, and so.
And now he's a sweet.
Why not?
Probably number 4.
Well, he was the Armada, wasn't he? That's the great debate. The Cyclone, who became Cyclonus. And it's just, there's something like the fact you can transform it I don't even have 2, Jamie. I literally just transformed that in seconds. It's incredible. This is my original one. So
I transformed it. I don't have 2.
Chrome's basically gone. Oh no, I know you transformed them. Some unscrupulous people actually, can you believe it, buy 2 so they can just pretend. It's crazy. And
on a weekly basis.
And yeah, I can't believe it. These people, infuriating. Putin lovers. Anyway, there he is, and I love him, and he's awesome. And he's an Insecticon. The Insecticons were always cool, and Bombshell for me was always the coolest one. I loved the fact that he could fire the Cerebro shells and mind control people, and yeah, I mean, even in the IDW comics when they had the Insecticons and they introduced them through that whole Shockwaves experimentation thing, and when we were first introduced to Bombshell, and he has this really cool scene where he's just sat there on like a lab table, and Megatron comes in and asks him some questions about what his purpose is, and he basically says it's to cause pain. And Megatron's like, "You'll do for me," and it was just really cool. So yeah, my choice, because it's a bit random. And I knew that, for example, Jamie, you're a massive fan of Hot Rod, so I assumed you'd do the Studio Series Hot Rod. I know, obviously, that Paul absolutely adores Quietus, so I thought he'd do Quietus. And I thought, I'll just go for something a bit random. I actually really like Rudy's choice as well, if I'm being completely honest. I'd have gone for the Alicon if I'd had thought of it, but I didn't. I went for Bombshell, so my choice, Bombshell, who may well be dead, but anyway, he was in it. And your mic's not on.
His mic's broken.
Sorry.
What saying that?
Destroyed his mic.
I thought he was going to do sign language. I was going, so progressive.
We reach everyone. Right, on to the discussion, which tonight we are going to discuss our favourite pickups of the year. So not just Transformers, it will be our favourite toy pickups. We'll do honourable mentions as well. So we're all going to do that in 2 seconds.
He's in a trance, a jazz trance. Every day he does this. It's a pretty delicate procedure getting him out.
Ah! Ah! Don't do that, ever.
Why?
Never do that to a man when he's in a jazz trance.
Why?
I could have a heart attack. It's like sleepwalking. I was deep in the juju then. I was chasing the train.
So what? Why don't you try doing some work?
I'm going to get round to my work, aren't I?
Oh, yeah.
This is my early morning procedure. Listen to my jazz, get myself juiced up, and then go about my business.
No, you don't. You put your jazz on, go into a trance, 6:10, come out the trance, go to the pub. That's your day.
Have you got anything you could be doing, perhaps? Distributing seeds among the hoofed mammals, maybe?
Yeah, I'm onto it,
Well,
because
go
I
about
started my day with this. Check this out.
That is just making me feel physically sick. What is that gloomy racket?
That's the Human League.
That is electro-nonsense.
They're electro pioneers. They invented music.
Invented music?
Yeah.
What happened before then?
It was just tuning up before then.
Are you aware of the music known as jazz? Are you aware of jazz music, the movement of jazz?
Why'd you keep going on about jazz for?
Because it's the most important art form in the 20th century.
No one listens to jazz. Science teachers and the mentally ill, that's all jazz is for.
You better take that back, you electro-ponce.
Or what?
You better just take it back, that's all.
I won't be taking that back. I'll be leaving it out there for all to see.
Drink it back up.
No, I hate jazz.
You hate jazz?
Yeah.
You fear jazz. Huh? Ah,
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, you fear jazz, don't you?
No, I don't.
You fear the lack of rules.
No.
The lack of boundaries. Oh, it's a fence. No, it's soft. Ah! What's happening? The shapes, the chaos. Huh? Has to be simple nursery
Stop
rhymes
it.
for you, doesn't it?
Stop the evil.
Simple little dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Shut your
The
mouth,
melody
Howard.
gets abstract. You mess your trousers and run to your mummy.
Shut your mouth.
Huh? Dee-bop. Scoop up.
Don't start scatting.
Beep-bop.
We don't need scat at this point.
Beep-a-dee-bop-ow.
You better stop scatting.
Scoot-up-a-doo-bop-a-dee.
This is your final warning.
Squiddly-beep-bop. Scat, scat.
Where's Paul gone? He just legged it.
So he's just legged it, right? So
he's stuck on a video that's probably going to get this video taken down for copyright infringement.
Yeah,
obviously.
and he muted us as well, so that way we couldn't talk over it to prevent it from getting taken down from copyright. So it was like,
No, he's legged it.
you know,
Oh dear me. I do love
So-
Martin Gooch though.
Indeed, awesome show.
Go on, Rudy.
Well, I was going to say, what are our honourable mentions? Because I figured we could do our honourable mentions first, each of us,
okay.
and then do our main one. Let's spice it up a little since he left us.
So neither we.
We now return to the Transformers.
Your timing was
Hey.
impeccable, Paul.
I'll wait until
5 seconds left on this video. I think I'll go for a
I
piss.
was watching the video. I thought I'll put the video on and then I'll go for a wee. And I started watching the video and thought it's quite funny actually. Right, tonight's discussion is your favourite pickup of the year so far. 3 months into the year, there's been loads of good new releases, and there's been some amazing pickups so far. Andy, do you want to tell us what you really loved picking up so far, toy wise?
Well,
Well,
since
Rudy
you
just
fucked off,
suggested
mate.
that we all, we changed things, mate.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay,
do
that's
that.
fine.
Oh, we're going to do our honourable mentions first, and then go
Oh,
back
okay.
around.
Oh,
Rudy's
you
taking
like that,
control.
do you?
Yeah, Rudy's in charge now.
okay.
Well,
Oh,
He's
that'd
the
be
organizer
great.
of bots at home.
He doesn't
You
wear
know.
glasses just for fun.
Pull my hair when you tell me what to do as well. No, sorry, something else. Right, yeah, go for it.
I'm still going first. Oh, right, okay. Do you know, I've changed my mind. Partly because I thought we were just doing it based around bots and Transformers related stuff, and then before the show, Jamie mentioned that it didn't have to be Transformers related bots. So I'm going to go with, as my honourable mention, I'm going to go with this because I just friggin' love it, the look of it, everything. I just love it. I can't really explain it. Is it the best figure in the world? Probably not. Has it got the best articulation? Probably not. Is it?
Definitely not.
Is it, worth like 35 quid or whatever it was when it first came up? Definitely not. But, I got it for 20 quid, so I don't care. So I'm going to go with that
Is that
because
really
I really
a 20
like
quid
these.
toy?
That's what
Yeah,
I
It
amazing.
looks more, it looks more than that.
and just like the fact that it's kind of like got me into a different fandom that I wasn't really part of, and I'm really enjoying finding out all the kind of lore about it, the backstory, everything else, but also seeing what you get to see what the fandom's like from other fandoms and like compare them, like, you know, when they do their reviews, when they do their news and all that, and they get really excited about releases of waves, and so it's almost heartwarming to know that it's not just us who are like this. There are many, many more out there. So yeah, I'm going to go with Skelly God from the Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse line, because it's
interesting because the Masterverse line is now going backwards and looking at the vintage figures and updating them as if what they would have looked like if Revelations had done it properly.
They're doing 4 different lines now within the Masterverse line, so they're doing a lot like you said, the vintage figures. They've revealed the She-Ra figures. There's another element to it they're doing, but it's really strange, but quite cool to see these old style figures done with much more modern engineering. And the nice thing about it for me, not being like some diehard fan who has to get everything, is I can pick and choose the characters and the designs that I like and that I always enjoyed, like, you know, Leech and Grislaw, who I was telling you, I think you guys about the other night. You know, minor characters that never, I don't think they were ever even in the cartoon, but I had the toys as a kid, so it's like, right, I'm going to get them. But yeah, I can't do a He-Man show. Just be me. Nobody who's going to join me on the He-Man show. Oh, right, all right. It's me and Rudy. John, are you up for this? I'm sure you are. Come on, John.
Alexis will win. He's always got He-Man.
Alexis will do anything. If he thinks he's going to miss out on it, he's going to be there.
Okay, I'll go next. My honourable mention is Joy Toy Space Marine.
Nice.
So this is the Blood Angels Death Company. I picked a few of them up, but you would have seen last week how impressed I am with them. They are lovely. They are like the miniatures I wish I could have painted when I was 14. Loads of accessories. They look so nice next to each other. You can customize them all, so you can literally have 14 Space Marines all looking slightly different. And they come with a shield with a blood on it. So that does it for me. Who would like to go next? Jamie?
Yeah, I was just going to mention my big honourable mention has been Warhammer Fey. And this game is impeccable. I love the Total War line. I love everything about it. I loved it from the very first time Total War Shogun all the way to like Rome, to Rome Barbarian Invasion, to again Total War Medieval, then you know the newer versions of Rome and newer versions of Medieval, and then when Total War decided to go into complete fantasy with Warhammer, it's just exploded the scene. It really has. You know, when you see thousands of orcs fighting thousands of dwarfs, and you're controlling it with unique regiments, and a dragon flies overhead, and you have control over this dragon, and you can tell it what to do, and you see a giant, and then you've got massive spiders, and you've got griffins which are flying, you know, and it's all happening at once, and it's just complete chaos. It's just fantastic. And even though Game Pass had this for free, Total War, I wanted the physical edition as well, and it's mostly because it's with Steam, and I've got the prior games with Steam, so I could use all the DLCs eventually with the Total War free from Total War 1 and 2, and they're going to make a big map which includes all the races eventually. So it's just an impeccable game, and obviously a very massive modding community which just adds to the game and makes it go in different directions you wouldn't think possible. So that has been for me. And the big plus point of me for getting this sort of game is if I could just do that and get it out. As I said, even though I had it in Game Pass, I did want to have the discs, which my PC doesn't have a disk drive, you know, because they're kind of very obsolete. But I wanted the map because I've got the map for the 2 prior games, and I just love looking at the sort of the maps when you can see where you're going and what factions are where, and it is a massive map. You know, with good, excellent artwork on the back. So for me, that was my honourable mention. Absolutely delighted to own that.
Well, we're obviously riding on the Warhammer train, aren't we? So here we have.
Oh, you're such a copycat.
Sweet Jesus.
Such
There's
a
no
copycat.
originality amongst you lads, is there?
So yeah, we have got the Orc Knob with Power Claw and Shooter. It's not, that's
Sorry,
why it's
what
an
was it
honorable
called again?
mention.
The
It's
Orc
not
what?
the most, amazing toy, but it fills me with incredible amounts of joy every time I see it on the shelf. I smile, and I'm just like, it's a part of my childhood brought into the modern times with a ridiculously oversized action figure.
What was it called again, Rudy?
This is a Mega Knob. NOB.
Excellent. I thought I misheard you, but I'm so
No,
glad.
they are actually called knobs.
Orc
NOBZ.
knobs, Mega knobs.
There is no S's in the Orc language. It's all Z.
For some
but yeah.
reason, someone wants Andy to dress as Evil Lent. I don't know.
Who doesn't?
Oh, sublime.
So
The
yeah,
wank you
he's
didn't know you needed.
Dear me.
super fun. But yeah, he's
Can I
never
just
gonna
check
make it
who
into,
that
like,
was
a top
so they can
5.
avoid them for the rest of my life? Oh yeah.
Cool. Right, is there anything else we have to do? Have we done the show?
No, we've got to
we'll
do our top
our
favourite
gen-
ones now.
Yes.
That was our honourable mentions. Jesus Christ, Paul.
Work on Monday. Okay, right.
Oh, good job! It's only Friday.
This has been a relatively short show compared to others we've done recently, but anyway.
I know.
Let's do our favourite thing we've ever bought ever. Andy, what's your favourite thing that you have ever bought? With
That
money?
smile seems so false.
Oh,
It's
now
like-
that's a tough question. Well, that's going to take me a while to answer. No.
Great answer.
This
Storm.
year.
Oh, sorry.
Can I just quickly share your screen?
That's mine.
Anytime you're ready.
It's
There you
shade
go.
that's Predaking.
Yeah, it was Predaking, which I got this year, and that's my favourite kind of pickup of this year. It's just amazing, and to have this kind of G1 set, you've got all these incredibly engineered modern toys, and this is the one that has brought me the most joy and has been the most fun. And every now and again, I just kind of stand and look at it on my display over there and just think,
Did that look like it
I'm
had
really
one
glad I
leg?
can get.
I was looking at a photo then, it looked like it had one leg. No, the photo back. Its back leg.
The back legs are kind of tucked in behind, so you can only see the side of one of them.
Oh.
When you actually see it, the legs are very much directly underneath him. It's 1980s engineering. In fact,
It just looks like they've been in a horrible plane crash and they've had to eat one of their legs just to survive.
I mean, that probably would happen if they were, real.
How have you got it displayed?
I've had him in like combined mode for a while, and then just recently split them down into their individual
I'm just about
beast
to
modes.
split mine.
I'm not
I
going
like
to put them into their robot modes while they're in the display. They're on the display, which is right next to my bed. They're right on the top, in front of Galvatron, Cyclonus, and Scourge. And if I put them into the robot modes, because one or two of them aren't necessarily the steadiest if they get knocked.
Yeah.
What I don't want is one of these die-cast metal Predacons dropping on my head when one of the kids bursts through the door because they've had a nightmare and the door whacks into the display or something like that. So I'm not taking that chance. It might kill me, genuinely.
It's so heavy. It's one of the most heaviest G1 toys ever.
Exactly, they are, Rudy. Until you've got them in hand. Like I've only ever had the plastic version of Dive Bomb from G1, and when you actually get the die-cast versions, you realise just how weighty these bloody things are, and I love them. I just absolutely love them. And Rampage has become my favourite of them. I still love. Don't get me wrong. I still love Dive Bomb, and Razor Claw's great, but the actual toy of Razor Claw with his stubby arms just kind of puts me off a little bit. But Predaking. I mean, if you get this set, you get it for Predaking, don't you? And I absolutely love him. My best pickup of this year, if not my life, is
good photos and
Predaking.
really nice.
And if you get the chance to get a G1 Predaking, I would recommend it. I know that it's not cheap if you want the originals with the boxes, but the box set ones. I mean, this cost me, including the shipping for it, which wasn't cheap. This cost me $100, so not nightmarish. And he's definitely
I
worth
think that's
it.
a good price for.
Do you know he actually looks
figures.
good as a combiner, though, doesn't he?
That's the
really
thing.
good.
When sometimes they don't necessarily look like when in the combined mode. When you, especially the 80s ones, you look back now, they don't. You get the nostalgia. Of course, we all love them because of the nostalgia element. But then you like compare them to modern ones. Even compared to modern combiners, I still think the look of it stands up, and that's one of the things I love about it. It's Predaking, for Christ's sake. Who doesn't love Predaking? Anyway, that's me. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Right, who's next?
I can go.
Yes, you can.
And another thing, moving away from Transformers, I got G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes, which I talked about last week. And
I do love G.I. Joe.
And that has to be my pickup of the year. Probably will be for the year because it was very hard to find. You know, I didn't get them when they first came out. I collected G.I. Joe line. You know, I went into that late, maybe a year late or a year and a bit later than it started. But thanks to a lot of people in the community, they really helped me catch up in the figures I'd missed out. And a lot of them they had done it at cost as well, which I would like to add, you know. So that is really good. They could have really sold them a lot of figures for way more. And
how much does that go for now, Jamie? Normally,
well,
I know you got it for a really good price, but how much on the secondary market are they going?
I think anywhere between 140 and 200, and I think a lot of it, that's not including the postage because I think you're very stuck to finding it in places like America or the Philippines, etc. Because when it first came out, Hasbro Pulse was only in America, so you really could only get Snake Eyes for there or for import, thanks to people like In Demand Toys. So it was not very easy for people in the UK to get it. Where I would, I guess, in America, it'd be a lot cheaper, in the country, which basically had it very easy to get. But yes, I was quite lucky. The person was selling it, and a lot of people tagged me in to make sure I knew it was there and I could get it. So I was very grateful to, again, people in the G.I. Joe forums. And it's, as it's shown like last week, it's just a nice box to have. And it means I've completed my collections so far up to date. And that is something that I really wanted. And I wanted to have the weapon set because I like taking pictures of G.I. Joe and trying to improve the scenes and stuff. So having that sort of weapon set to add to a diorama or something like that is just, quite essential for me. So I was very happy to get that because I thought that was something I might never get, or I would order it from America, pay over £200 by the time it arrives, get hit with a tax bill, and it might be damaged or something like that. Where with this guy, I knew it was in good condition.
When I saw those photos, so jealous. It does. Like, I don't want to collect G.I. Joe, but that makes me want to collect it. And so that box you can get of Snake, can you get that separately, or do you have to get it? Does it only come like that in that big box?
You can get Snake Eyes. He's been done. It's like it's almost like a Seeker. There's lots of versions of Snake Eyes, like Snake Eyes and Timberwolf, a very articulated wolf, which is an amazing set to have. And you've got a couple of other versions of Snake Eyes as well, like the original release, a re-release again where they improved on them, and there's also the movie version Snake Eyes, which also looks quite good. So it's almost like 5 figures of Snake Eyes out there already.
Cool. Hasbro knows how to do a repaint, don't they?
Yes.
So I stuck with Hasbro for mine. I went for Cobb Vanth. It was my pickup of the year. So I started collecting Black Series probably about last year. I went for all the sort of Mandalorian themed ones. But this is the one which turned up and I was like, fuck, he's so good. Like the detail on him. The prices on the Black Series have gone up, and I'm not sure if they all justify that price rise. This guy definitely does. I'll take his head off.
And he's alive still.
Yeah, look.
What's C4 Dark 9 on about? Apparently I'm dead on Twitter. What?
I know.
I've not even said anything yet to get myself killed on Twitter yet. I mean, this whole time.
You? Anyway, look at
not,
my Cobb.
not on the show.
Have a good watch of
That's
my
a nice
Cobb.
figure.
Great figure. Yeah, loads of accessories, and like bits like this, just move his scarf. You can have set up. One thing I have noticed about Black Series is like the older Black Series used to put onto any sort of flat surface, would just fall down straight away. But more and more, I'm being able to pose these guys on my shelf in my bedroom, and they stand nice and still. So I don't know if that's a quality improvement. There's definitely a price improvement to the negative, but this bit's all separate. So this comes out, this is gun, obviously that comes out, but you can see that all these little different bits have all been sort of separately put onto the figure. You can even move them about. That bit moves, that bit moves. The detail is insane. All these bits, every single wire is separate. They've done an amazing job of an amazing character. And look at his handsome face. It's like my face, but like it's like me.
You are very blurry, to be fair. Out of focus. Although
but we do drink a lot.
We're always drunk.
Drunk, yes.
It's oh bless you, Slack. Focus.
Me and him could do a show. We wouldn't need you guys. Just do it my own. Cob. Paul and his massive cob. That's what
Paul on the cob.
Paul on the cob. Can't top that. Who's next? Is everyone done? Rudy, have you done yours? So
that's me. So my number one pickups this year is Action Force by Valaverse, and I have the majority of them now. And I grabbed Kerrick because he's good. I've been fiddling about with.
That's one I don't actually have.
But they're all incredibly amazing. You know, they're real world, like real weapons. Swarm Troopers kind of a bit out there, but like the detail is like phenomenal. Like I think G.I. Joe Classified has like stepped up and is really good, but these are next level. In some ways you kind of shouldn't compare them, but you're going to because they're military based figures. But kind of G.I. Joe is doing toon kind of toy versions, and then Valaverse is kind of doing a mix of everything, and everything's kind of interchangeable.
What I like about the G.I. Joe though is they've got different body shapes.
Yeah.
You know, with the Action Force, to me, it's all the same body shape, which I guess they've done so they can swap and interchange easier.
Also, Bobby's quite a small company compared to others, so he's only got X amount of funds, so that's the best way to reuse is, you know, do a Hasbro and use the Bucky Barnes model over and over and over and over and over and over again. But yeah, it's the most exciting toy line at the moment. The Sarge is incredible. How awesome is it to have another Sergeant Slaughter figure in the world? You can, just like with the Black Series, you can kind of unsheath the weapons, and that looks like an actual shotgun.
Do you know what, like Flint shotgun, actually you can load the gun, you know, load the weapon, the shotgun goes down.
Yes, and then you've got these like incredible bios where, you know, you just used to have a couple of sentences with whoever. Now you've got a full bio. It's just taking inspiration from the 80s and just brought it into.
But I guess he's lucky in the sense he's aimed very much for the UK and American and Canadian market, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Australian market.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for your consideration.
You're welcome, Rudy.
that was a hint, Paul.
Sorry.
He gets distracted in the chat.
Dude,
looking at Paul. It's one or the other. We're going to come back to that.
I love Celia Banks. It feels like I love Lisa loads, but if Celia Banks said
she turned up one day.
Yeah, I'd be like, "What, the 212?" And she'd be like, "With the upbeat, because you know you want to." I'd be like, "Yeah, I would."
And on that bombshell,
guys, thanks so much for watching tonight. Really appreciate it. If you head to Facebook, go to Transformers the Show. Oh, RJ's here. Come on in, RJ. Come on in. There's RJ. So head to Transformers the Show on Facebook. You can join us there. Rudy, what is your YouTube handle?
So my YouTube handle is my name, but I present a show called the Science Fantasy Experience, along with Figure Force. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Best
doing
intros
toy
there
reviews
is.
and nostalgia.
An absolute
toy
beauty.
pickups.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
You're very welcome. I love it.
I love you. Jamie.
And giraffes.
Don't make me choose. Do not make me choose.
Come on, mate.
Jamie, what's the Twitter? TF Show UK.
Yep.
Cheers. See you next week.